little bit of elimination of alliteration here. Eminem. And Marks is just totally content chilling in this storm right now. He's like, I can eat some damage for a little bit for some time. And you talked earlier about the storm changes. Talk about the storm changes here for those that, again, haven't been following or don't know about it.
You went from being 9 zones to 12, so there's a couple more of those earlier zones where it's easier to get to that doesn't do as much damage like this bush is about to do, but Sky gets turned on. Mezega just takes him down, even though he did have the first shot, and somebody spotted that one in the distance. Here's some shots going out, but the wrong direction. He may need to throw another one of those out, which is kind of tragic because he survived so long, and he wasted both of them. But luckily for him, on that fallen loot, he does find 2 more.
I better use it than lose it, though. So even though he has to use both of those porta bunkers, he does stay alive. We'll see if Mezega can keep rolling here. Mezega's taking on some Titans. Look, they took out Victor at the beginning of the game, got an elimination after that. Meanwhile, Marks and Recreation finally gets taken out after chilling and building and got gate kept by Mouse. It was foreshadowing, Pierre.
It's just one of those things to where it just sucks to have that one happen. And now all these players, you see them getting stuck on this side of the zone where it does continuously pull towards the western side of the map. Timing is going to be crucial. As Kinzo is trying to take the big diesel and get out to another location. He's got the memo long ago, doesn't want to get caught like he did in a few games of the past. A lot of these players have so much familiarity. Chris from the low ground, Frost from the high ground. They played in finals lobbies before of FNCS, and now you see them kind of matched up here again in the Dallas Cowboys game time final.
That's right. Frost versus Chris. Advantage Frost. High ground and health. Effective HP. As Frost does have control of this fight for now, but we'll see if that fight ends up ensuing. Meanwhile, switching over, Maddie getting taken out. Maddie had a really good game last series. Complexity's very own. Wally getting eliminated from School, who again didn't have the best games 1 and 2 because School goes down again. This time to Shallow, the third party, too strong.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations. Shallow again, one of the players who qualified in one of the late qualifiers. I think it was qualifier 5, maybe even 4. I made sure to let him know at the tail end, yo, you got to sign up for this. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity from the Dallas Cowboys. Had good looks. He went out there, did his things. Now we see him here in the finals lobby. You can see a little bit of a slower rotation, trying to get to that slow side of the zone, but it's fast because he does have the car, saving his kinetic blade charges just in case he does get tagged up. And that's going to be something you're going to see a lot of these players do, try to utilize and optimize those kinetic blade charges.
That's right. Pilkey, one elimination. You've had a chance to watch quite a bit of Pilkey. I've been really impressed by their gameplay. 41 players left in this one. Blake gets taken out in the mid game again. So that's just been a pattern here. But, obviously sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles. Blake not able to make it to late game despite having some good early games. Is he just playing a little too aggressive, you think, PR? Or do you any idea? We obviously haven't seen it. But any idea what's happening?
I think where he's landing right now, he's just trying to rotate a little bit quicker. Maybe he thinks he's trying to get somebody out of position. And once you become a target in 0 builds, it's hard to lose that focus against a lot of the teams. You're not able to build. You're not able to just kind of kinetic blade freely because if you kinetic blade to the sky, there's that a couple of seconds to while you're charging it up that you can get tagged out. So he's probably just a position right now, playing mind games with himself. Do I have to rotate too early? Do I not? Because sometimes you might even have a position in zone and you may feel the need to rotate when you don't necessarily have to.
That's right. Big Slime. Chewy. It's a fun one to say. Say that 3 times fast, Pierre.
Big Slime Tui, Big Slime Tui, Big Slime Tui.
I don't know why I had to do that, to be honest with you. I have no idea. But Big Slime Tui here. For some reason, just a fun gamer tag to say. Look, his gamer tag's more fun than his gameplay, though. 0 eliminations. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't roasting Big Slime. Shout out to Big Slime Tui if you're watching this back. I love you. I'm not trying to roast you. 0 eliminations right now for Big Slime, but it's okay because well-positioned to make it to late game here up on high ground. Diggy Tate had a big game last series. Deep in zone right now. This is a tough rotate.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. But I will say there's not too many players there. My biggest worry for him is the lack of actual heals. He doesn't have a med kit. He doesn't have a med miss. And that's where he's going to stop by. I do know there's some coolers there. There's definitely going to be something that he can grab. I did see a flopper there towards the tail end. So his health is going to be able to come back as Mezega ends up in an aim duel against Nock. And Nock go ahead and knows that he's weak. And this is where he does have the advantage. You can see him trying to push up, finish this one off. But now he's faced with the decision. Do I continue to try to chase deep in his zone? Or do I just go after somebody else?
Yeah, now basically sandwich. You never want to be the meat of the sandwich. You want to be the bread in a game of Battle Royale. And guess what? He's like, I'm going to eat this bread up real quick. One more shot's all that's needed. See you later. Mezega, after taking out Victor, after having a good early and mid game, it's going to be Nock who takes out Mezega and now has 2 players potentially gatekeeping and looming right in the zone to welcome him when he makes it in the zone.
Yeah, I like that decision overall. He already did some damage. He already took some damage to the zone, wasted some heals, so yeah, he needed to replenish something. But now you got Pilkey trying to gatekeep towards the outside. This is a player that's tough, has so much experience when it comes to the zero build competition. I don't think he did. I don't think he saw him towards the tail end. Now he's going for the weapons cache. It takes a while because it looks like he's trying to steal it away. This will be a great opportunity to pounce. The shots come in, and down goes Pilkey to Notch.
Wow. That is tragic if you're a Pilkey fan or if you're Pilkey themselves. Had no idea there's a player nearby. But look, that's risky. I don't know about that call. No, zero builds, you can't build yourself cover. And you put yourself get exposed like that. I know that obviously the weapons would have been great, but this is the wiser play. Use the shield bubble to do it.
Yep.
There it is.
Because he's still in the early zones, he's going to use the legendary slurp juice to try to stay alive. That's going to get him better loot, at least when it comes to the shotgun. And then you add on the fact that more heals are going to come out, some more legendary slurp juices as well. So this is definitely worth the sacrifice for Notch.
That's right. And yeah, worth the sacrifice of staying in zone, but the wiser play by using a shield bubble. And on the flip side, Pilkey definitely going to learn their lesson. And meanwhile, we got Jelly. Pushing, big fight. Oh my gosh, against 2AM's very own JG9. Jelly just pushes like a bat out of hell, but gets taken out, gets punished as a result. Sap Games is the last one standing.
Baptist literally took advantage of that entire altercation. He knew the players were weak. Cleans up a free elimination. He's already at the top of Rift Island. He has the overclock pulse rifles. And since it is in zone right now, he can just wait up here. He can wait for his time, figure out what loot he wants to scavenge, take to the top of the roof as well. And once that next zone pulls in, that's when he's going to rotate. And take note of where the Rift Island is. It's on the edge of zone as well. So the zone is going to pull away from Rift Island.
That's right. Limit Vanilla's on board with Limit. We saw them earlier and has some pretty good loot to their name, PR, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely does close the combat 0 to 100 in terms of that DPS because the twin mag just you can see what he's doing right now is choosing the twin mag instead of the red eye because he knows storm surge isn't necessarily going to be a thing. So he's just playing for the players that are in front of him, not the players that are across the map, if that makes sense.
Big Slime still chilling top Citadel. He's about to say Fallout, joke's on you, because I got the best position on the map right now. But of course, God spot for now, but the zone will be rotating. Hazi, winner from last game. 29 players left in this one, in just the bottom tunnels of the Citadel, getting called out, shot out by Big Slime. Not in the greatest position as Hazi.
Hazi needs to be able to have this consistency. Did win that last game. Kind of made up for that first game blunder. I think Quinn is the only one that really has a little bit of a cushion and a gap from everybody else. So consistency is huge. The only one that can afford to mess up a little bit is going to be Quinn. Everybody else is just going to slide further down that leaderboard. That's Fladoom. He got that elimination. And you can see him trying to pick it and choose. And what loot looks good to you? I think he already has all the good loot, though. So.
Yeah, I think he does. It's like, well, I don't know. Good or better? Obviously,
I would take the twin mag, though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Over the red
Twin mag might be a bad idea, but he decides not to. Instead, opts to keep the rifle. Making a rotation through. Reflections. Taylor Noble. Look at him moving like a bot. The first thing you see is him backpedaling like a bot.
He's going to learn today. But hey, he's doing a good job rotating so far. It is going to be fifth zone. He hears somebody in the distance, spots one out, or at least he spots him out over towards the right. Doesn't want to get surprise attack as he inches himself closer and closer towards typical. Where you got to go ahead and crouch because all your audio cue is going to be given up, and that's why you see him slowly move and change his posture. This is huge. Reflections, I feel like, has known a lot of the tricks here in the game. And as he's about to get tagged by that player on the side, they get eliminated by Blur Antics, keeping Reflections' position unknown.
I don't think he even realizes it. He's literally just been blessed here by someone in the lobby, and he just looks, kind of like a lost puppy. How would you define his gameplay right now?
I think he's just being really, really safe right now. Typical. He knows somebody's there because of the audio of the footsteps going down. Reflections.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Okay.
First grenade going down.
Tosses a grenade at himself.
Oh!
By the way, Reflections is a good friend of ours. That's why we're roasting him. He's a caster. We've been known him for years.
Oh, the lightsaber. Oh, he's getting sorted up. Darth Maul meets Darth Typical. Oh, my God. Reflections does it. Reflections is the best player in this lobby. He took down Darth Maul himself.
Oh my gosh, what did we just see with 5 HP left in a dream? Reflections hits the last shotgun shot he needed against someone that was just swinging the lightsaber. Are you kidding me? I thought there was no way he wins that.
I thought he was. I don't know what type of shots he just hit right now. I feel like it is. Reflections wrote the movie right now. That is just incredible. I am so glad I was here for this. I just have to say, Reflections being such a good friend to both of us. I am so glad we saw him get an elimination here because now he's going to go on to win the game. I'm voicing it. Yeah, I'm bringing it into existence.
Now that is just crazy talk. But if he does, I will shave my eyebrows. Maybe.
Please, Reflections. Make him shave his eyebrow. You dyed your hair, so you're a man of your word.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I had to get frosted tips because I lost a bet. I am a man of my word with my bets. Punisher right now takes out LaHavit James. If anyone's going to take out Reflections, it will be Pun. On board with Big Slime, rotating from the Citadel, just soaring through the skies right now. Big Slime, Tui. Going to find Twitch Trey hiding in a bunch of leaves and out sitting right above him.
This is a good idea in theory until somebody in the distance, spots you
and
out.
Drops right to Trey now.
Luckily, it was a couple shots and not the sniper, like we've seen a few times before. He's still trying to hang on to any bit of the branch that he can. And it's just huge because if he falls, he's in the open.
Like, he might get a couple eliminations here, but all of these players he's going to be exposed, right? Yeah, there's one player already looking at him. Big Slime with 65 HP. Also a dream. 5 HP. None. See you later. Trey gets elimination. Mouse gets another one on your screen. And now back on board with the Dallas Cow. How about them Cowboys? Sancho West's very own, from Texas originally. Big Cowboys fan. FNCS Fortnite shoutcaster with the most. And now really good early rotate from him.
Yeah, he got the Shadow Tracker's augment to get the flare gun. He knows where at least a couple players are positioned at with that natural environment. He knows he only has to look towards the back. I know he saw at least Libyan fire at least once, and this is where he's being patient. Sancho West with so much patience here to not fire a shot, but he tries to ODM ahead. He did not spot him out. Libyan maybe spotted him at the tail end and chooses the kinetic blade out of there to a safer position away from Sancho West.
And now he's going to gatekeep Sancho West. But I don't know if he knew. Obviously, he didn't. Sancho was so damaged, and Sancho just gets blessed right there by Libyan. Let's to fight another day. Take a look at this dispersion of players right now. 15 remaining, equally dispersed across the map. And NYC takes out Libyan, who says you should have just fought Sancho.
Yeah, stay away from me. Stay away from my high ground. Just gave him an extra spot. Ooh, that's actually big. It says since he doesn't have a shield bubble, since he doesn't have a bunker, he at least has the lightsaber to go ahead and bounce some of those shots back, even though it doesn't actually bounce back. It just negates them. But he can also use the force to throw some rocks at his opponent. I just wish he had some mobility. I wish he had a kinetic blade, anything to work with here. But at least he's trying to make that slow rotation. In theory, he could try to white line most of this to get to the zone. But to get in the zone might be a different story as you see so many players beginning to stack up as we get into our top 11.
It's like the underdog story, keeping the football theme. It's like Rudy. You ever seen that movie, Pierre? You should check it out. It's a good one.
Which movie?
Lucas. Rudy and Lucas.
Actually,
two movies
Rudy.
about underdog football
Rudy.
players. Rudy, you better have. On board with Reflections right now. See if he can channel into Notre Dame. The whole chat's probably cheering for Reflections because they want to see the world burn and they want my eyeballs to be burned off my head. On board with Fluger. Fluger gets 1. 2 eliminations to Fluger's name. Not a bad game for Fluger here. Can he get a top 3 finish? Needs a big game here if he wants a chance at these tickets.
He's one of the heavy hitters in the lobby along with Wicked as well. The Wicked's getting spotted out. Patience here is going to be important. He has to wait for the shield bubble to go away as Wicked's just going to kinetic blade out. He goes deeper to the backside of zone. Fluger's just landed a couple of shots, just trying to make it harder for him. Trying to stay alive, but you can see Fluger's inventory. Very, very much one of those inventories that you want to have, except for no shield bubbles, no porta bunkers, so it's going to be tricky if he fights somebody that does have one.
That's right. Reflections nearby, making the rotation. And zone's max pull. This is going to be a difficult one here for all these players on the far left side of your screen. Sancho gets taken out, and there goes Reflections. Eyebrows maintained. Blur Antics takes out Reflections. 6 players left in this lobby here. Mouse, Fluger, Blur, all about to get in a fight. Fluger gets taken out. Nice headshot from Blur. Immediately drops the bunker and manages to survive for now. Diggy Tate wants to enter the fun.
That's huge. Barantic was able to get that slurp juice off, and another player goes down right in front of him. Even though he doesn't get the elimination, he's definitely going to get the slurp juice as well. So no worries to him when it comes to those shield and HP as Trey gets spotted out towards the outside. Blair still has some distance to cover as we now have a triple threat match. Wicked, Trey, and Blur for the game.
That's right, Wicked of F7 got top 2 in game number 1. Can he finish the job this time, though? Here comes the push from Blur. Wicked says, see you later, Sai. And Blur, now it's a triangle between the 3 of them. Trey with 5 eliminations playing great.
Yeah, he has the advantage. Zone is going to come to him. Plus, he has the bunker already. Here's some heals going on the other side. That is going to be Wicked. He knows the player is going to be in front of him as well. Trey timing here is going to be crucial as players do have to rotate on over towards his position because he has the front side of zone.
That's right. Definitely advantage Trey. Does have the legendary Slurp Juice to their name as well. I gotta say Trey's looking good in winning this game. Oh, turns away for a second and ends up getting punished. Yep. Grenades flying too.
Slurp Juice rather quickly, though. He's trying to regain the HP and shield, so that advantage he had at the front side of zone is going to go out the window. He's trying to go to the slow side of the zone. This could be perfect with the other 2 now fighting, Blur versus Wicked. That's going to give Trey a time to get the high ground and regenerate some of the health. He flanks Blur on the other side, but he goes down. Now it's Blur to 1v1 versus Wicked. He has the shot lead, and Wicked takes him down to take the game.
That's right, Wicked finishes the job this time. After second place in game number 1, this time gets the dub and a nice little dance move to follow. Nice job from Wicked. Game 3 winner. And that puts him in contention to win this competition, Jacob. He's going to be in the top 5 in the leaderboards, you got to think.
Yeah, consistency is going to be key. Depending on what his game number 2 actually looked like, you hit the nail on the head. Gets second place. I don't know game number 2, but then he gets a first place. You add in the eliminations as well. He definitely has to be the front runner. And it has to be the question, where did Quinn go down in this last game? Because he was the one that had that massive lead. We saw Hazzy come up big in game number 2 as well. So this leaderboard is definitely turned upside down for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. And that was the third piece of the puzzle I was going to say. The fact that our top players, people like Victor and Quinn, did not make it to late game opens the door wide open for people like Wicked to burst on through and sneak in to the top 3. We'll take a look at the leaderboards when we have a chance to here in just a moment. But we've got first things first. We've got some highlights here. I'm excited to walk through what the action looked like for those that maybe just started tuning in here live on the Dallas Cowboys YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. And again, apologies for some of the technical difficulties throughout. But look, gameplay's been great.
Yeah, it definitely has been pristine. We've seen some of our casters get in to the top position on the leaderboard. Reflections getting a huge elimination to stay alive and inch himself into the top 10 along with Sancho West, who has multiple top 10 finishes on this game so far. And as the highlights continue, Notch was one of those players to where he was stuck on the outside of zone. He was able to stay alive and then eventually take out Pilkey. And this was that Star Wars battle where Darth Sith got taken down by Obi Reflections Kenobi.
That's right. Reflections got basically was given a gift. No, actually, I wouldn't say that. That was the hardest gift he had to earn right there. Meanwhile, Blur Antics pushed here, took out Fluger, and then got blessed. I believe someone behind him took out his opponent, allowing him to stay alive. It was actually Dig. And then Wicked here, 1 versus 1 for the bread. Gets the win, gets the elimination, immediately jumps into the boogie, hits him with it. Yeah, Shout out to Wicked. Great plays, great game here in game number 3.
Yeah, with the combat, that first shot from distance was huge for him to land. He was able to keep that shot lead. And so even though Blur did have a fighting chance, I do believe he had a Mythic Havoc pump. That's still 210. With the Overshield, you need 2 different shots, and that really made the difference at the end because he was the one who got pounced down by Trey.
That's right. Kudos to Wicked there in game number 3 with the win. But look, we're going to be hard at work calculating the standings and the leaderboards for y'all. We're going to jump to a very, very quick break, again, courtesy of Lenovo, making smarter technology for us all. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Dallas Cowboys Game Time, featuring Fortnite Fallout here alongside Jacob. MVPR, 3 games down, 2 more to go. And at this point, well, the leaderboard's anyone's game.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be testing a lot of these players and their mentality and their mental strength going into the last half of the day. Depending on where you're at in the leaderboard means you may need to make up those points with eliminations, and where you're going to find them, who knows, because I think this lobby has some superstars around almost every portion of the map, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. So I don't think anybody's going to go down lightly.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, obviously, a couple players have risen to the top. Players like Quinn playing incredibly consistently. You saw Wicked also a second game in the top 3. Some players haven't. Any players that are shocking you in terms of performance right now, both good and bad?
Honestly, depending on where Zemi's at in the leaderboard, he's a 0 build grinder. I expect him towards the top half of the leaderboard countless times. The other one, I think, would be Wicked. I don't necessarily know a ton about him, but that's more on the positive end. He's actually showing up and showing out, second and in first place so far. Definitely going to be one of the contenders going into the last 2 games, as long as he can remain consistent.
Yeah, I think those are 2 good call outs. A couple players I want to see go big here in these last 2 games if they want a chance to win. Well, it's going to be Blake. And then I'm rooting for the youngin, Victor. Had a really, really good game number 1, decent game number 2. If I remember, actually, no, got taken out early in games 2 and 3. So Victor's got to really turn this around here in games 4 and 5. And then, of course, we've talked about them throughout, some of the legends in Fortnite. People like Punisher of Complexity. People like Cease, who's been playing for a variety of orgs. 100 Thieves, played for XSET for a while. Top 3 at the Fortnite World Cup. Excited to see what Cease can do here. Any other players that are kind of some popular names, maybe popular FNCS names right now you want to see perform?
Rich Homie Quinn. I want to see DeRoller pick it up just a little bit more.
Are they both in this tournament?
Rich Homie Quinn's definitely in it. That's Zen Quinn that we're watching. He won that first game.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Trying to look at the players list.
I didn't realize Rich Homie Quinn was Zen Quinn. That means he decided to get rid of the Rich Homie and just go all in with the Quinn name.
Yeah, he's definitely showing up. And just some names, man. I think there's a lot of opportunities still left here on the day. I'm actually proud of how our casters have been performing in both War, Sancho West, and Reflections, putting up some high placement games here throughout the first half of the day. Can they remain consistent to the last half of the day? Who knows? But, hey, they've definitely stepped up to the plate so far.
Yeah, that's right. I think everyone's risen to the occasion. That is for sure. Look, how could you not? The Dallas Cowboys are hosting their first ever esports event, leading the way. I'm trying to think, is any other... I ain't seen the Packers do anything like that. I ain't seen the Giants. I don't think any other NFL team has done like a full-blown esports tournament like this. So again, really, really cool to see the Cowboys leading the way here overall. And again, big thank you, of course, to our partner in Lenovo for supporting this, making it all possible. Game number 4 is loading up, though. We'll be jumping into the action here in just a moment. Apologies, we don't have the leaderboards for y'all as we're just getting those calculated. We'll definitely pull those up during game number 4 because we don't want y'all to wait. We know you want to jump back into gameplay and catch the action. So we'll take a moment when things slow down a little bit to show you the leaderboards during game 4. Pierre, how's that sound?
That sounds good to me, because I need to see, and these players want to know that kind of how they have to play, because the leaderboard with the winner take all format, 2 tickets, and all expenses paid trip to the Super Bowl. Some of these players are going to have to dig deep in order to get those eliminations and make up for those points. And once you find yourself in a comfortable position with the early game eliminations, with those mid game, towards the end of the game, those opportunities are naturally going to present itself. You don't have to go look. You don't have to put yourself in interesting spots in order to find them, because they're going to have that opportunity to grab them towards the tail end. And it's just fight for the fittest, fight to be survival towards the very end and get at least into that top 5. Into the top 5, that's when a lot of those placement points really begin to ramp up.
Yeah, that's a really good point for a few reasons. One, the format. It's very placement heavy. Only 1 point per elimination rather than 2 or a few more, which some, very aggressive formats show. And 2, look, a lot has changed in Fortnite over the last 4, 5, 6 years of Fortnite being out. Obviously, the game has changed substantially, but the fundamentals are still the same. And the reality is, if one thing is still true, it's the simple concept of make it to late game, play for placement, and you're guaranteed to pick up a few eliminations on the way. That's probably the best way to play in Fortnite, especially compared to other battle royales. Make it to late game, get yourself the 3, 4, 5 elimination win, especially in a placement heavy format like this one.
Yeah, and honestly, you've seen it a couple times already throughout the past couple of games, is positioning yourself in the late game is going to be so important. Making sure that you just don't have a bunch of different weapons in your loadout. You need to make sure that you have a balance in your loadout in terms of heals, mobility, the shield bubbles, and the bunkers that we've seen save so many lives here on the day so far, and be very, very impactful, honestly, to have a Victory Royale winner really kind of make the difference because of those items. Then obviously the different shotguns that you're going to use. Typically it is going to be the combat to the distance or that Havoc pump, if you're able to kind of hit those headshots accordingly. And then from there you see a lot of the red eye, or if you get towards the late game you might have a twin mag.
Yeah, that's right. Well, looks like there's a game number 4 starting up here in just a moment. I think the lobby's hosted. We're waiting for a few last players to trickle in. So gameplay will be around the corner. I know our team is still also trying to get the leaderboards tabulated as soon as they possibly can to give you an update. But again, just speculating here. You got to think Wicked and Quinn probably in the top 3, given their 2 top 3 performances.
Definitely Wicked. Quinn has to have at least some sort of share of that top of the leaderboard. These are all players that have won or at least come very, very late into multiple games so far on the day. It's just, can they hold on to their position? Because you know as well as I do, it's not always how you start, it's how you finish at the end of the day. And it's very, very important, just as much as you want to start strong, but to finish strong as well, because you cannot tell me how many countless times I've seen a team in first place after 1 game, Victory Royales after 2 games, and then it kind of slips out of their grasp throughout the last half of the day.
That's right. Well, hey, look, it looks like gameplay is getting ready to start. We're waiting for 1 or 2 more players. We're just going to take a very quick break here as we get ready to jump into the action, so you don't have to sit through and us talking heads. We'll take a very quick break when we come back. Game number 4, our 4th out of 5 games, right around the corner.
And we're back to the Dallas Cowboys Game Time Invitational, the inaugural event hosted by the Dallas Cowboys featuring Fortnite, where our top player will get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl with all expenses paid. And after our first 3 games, we've seen some shakeups to the leaderboard, and we're already getting out of the gate swinging. We have a ton of eliminations right out of the gate for some, but for Headshot Chick, taking that slow and steady approach here for our 4th game.
Yeah, that's right. A very fast start, much like we've seen in many of these games. As I say that, Dom Cruz takes out Frost. That's a big pickup on 2AM's very own Frost, who we've seen make it to a few late games here. So this is what we said, right? Game 4, 1 elimination or 1 point per elimination. In first place, thing less, you're going to see a lot of aggression here.
Yeah, definitely. As the dust settles, you're going to see players realize their position on the leaderboard. It's almost all or nothing. If you're too far down on that leaderboard, you have to be able to pick up those eliminations and get yourself consistent performances in back-to-back games in that top 5.
That's right. Jumping aboard with a new player we haven't had a chance to see on broadcast yet. It's Aja Sansi with 0 elims right now. 58 players left in this lobby as Libyan Fire, who we've seen a few times on broadcast, takes out It's Killing Time. Must not be Killing time. It's killing time getting eliminated. Adjacency in Slappy Shores with a few players nearby. So yeah, expect some gameplay and some action here and momentarily.
Yeah, there's a ton of builds to land over here on this side of the map, but he gets tagged up, just like you said, towards the back. It's a little kinetic blade onto the rails as he's just continuously trying to disengage. This is not a position that he wants to be in. But
yeah, it's smart.
Over here, there's definitely going to be a lot of loot for grabs if he wants it. One of those Star Wars camps that is there nearby. Loot that he can grab if he wants to turn around, but he definitely wants to keep his position unknown, so he doesn't want to engage with those NPCs.
Yeah, it's wise. Smart decision. A couple actual players nearby avoids the NPC fight. And let's fight another day. Look, Wicked knows that they're in the driver's seat right now. Top 3, 2 good placements. Just needs to make it to another late game here. Another top 5 finish might seal the deal for them. It's a wise decision to back up. And I'm also just realizing in hindsight, it's adjacency. I get it, not adjacency. This is it's like a Game Battles 2009 gamer tag, PR.
He belongs in Gears of War is what you're telling me.
He does, that's right.
He said, this is the one. This one's for me. You see the widespread on the map. A lot of contestation going down here. Quick bubble shield to try to create some separation or any sense of it in terms of safety. Opt on the other side. Jelly's just fighting in the bush. The only other player there is going to be the NPC. And that's the interesting thing as well when it comes to the NPCs. You can buy different loot. You can go ahead and buy different abilities as well in terms of rifts. You can buy kinetic blades, chug splashes. So even if your POI doesn't necessarily have the loot that you're looking for, you can wander on over one of these NPCs and then just buy the loot that you're looking for.
PR question for you.
Yep.
Jelly or hummus if you had to pick a spread?
Jelly.
Jelly that quick? Didn't even think about it?
Yeah, I'm
Are you nuts? What are you, a child? Jelly over hummus?
Yes.
It's insane. I wonder what Chad thinks. That's definitely hummus. And
You can get a nice pita bread with some hummus, though.
that's what I'm trying to say. You're picking jelly?
Oh,
Artificial
that's
sugars?
best.
Look at them.
There's a car nearby as well. Oh, he's got a little scope. Don't worry, he didn't see me. That's what he just said right now.
Wow. He's going to get in a car and chase. It's a hot pursuit.
I just said, I don't want
Don't worry, he didn't see me. He just sprinted to the nearest car and drove it into the water.
Got himself a Land Cruiser with the ODM. You can see into the mini-map that somebody is down for the chase. Sancho West, once again, quick to disengage. I like this.
Yeah, he is.
So much distance between himself and that nearest enemy. And typically you see players, not want to disengage, not want to go as far, but he's actually on for the chase. Sancho West right now is getting chased down.
Wow, that's crazy. It's been an interesting fight. Whoever this is wants static. Sancho does not. One thing I've noticed about Sancho's gameplay is obviously he's an analyst, caster in Fortnite, very methodical. He likes to play the smart play. Not the most mechanical player, not trying to, force fights. Makes very, very smart and calculated decisions instead.
Look at David. He turns around because if you get tagged up with the ODM, it does deactivate it momentarily. Sniper shots going out. That one's going to miss. The bunker to try to shield up Sancho West, but you see him, maybe that's a little bit of a distraction. Maybe they think he's in the bunker, but he continuously is keeping his momentum going along with the rotation with the ODM yet again, but he's getting chased around. He might run into Fluker over here towards Shattered Slabs, which you see into the distance collecting that ball.
See what I said about calculated, methodical? Takes the ODM right into the rails, and great rotations coming through. This man is put on a clinic here. It's a movement tutorial.
I think he lost him.
He shook him off here.
His opponent
Hot
gave
pursuit
up.
over.
He said, fine, you can have it.
Yeah, I'm not about to chase you halfway across the map here. It's not worth it.
Luckily, though, for Sancho, that is the direction he needs to go nonetheless. Racetrack is going to be one of the hot drops. Zemi landing over here. Almost got a kinetic blade over towards the outside. First shot's going to be landed. Zemi's looking for the finish to take down Jelly. He might agree with you. He said hummus is the way to go.
And by the way, I don't know if the title got changed yet, but we are aware that the YouTube title has something to do with Mike McCarthy and not the Fortnite tournament. We've been trying to get it changed with the channel owner. So if everyone that's watching and has OCD and wants that changed, I don't blame you. Sorry for that.
So this is
trying to get that changed. This isn't football. Yes, this is Mike McCarthy's press conference.
I thought I was watching it the whole time. Oh, trapped!
Maybe with Sancho West skin, you think he may have been.
He's just trapped. Buck really just like shooting fish in a barrel. Playing peekaboo with Masila. Another elimination going to be picked up. A nice big pot as well. really missing the 26 or so HP. He's actually in Storm, so taking even more damage.
Yep. Young Buck. Sorry, I had to say it. I'm an old man. I'm a boomer. You say things like Young Buck.
He's making him rotate. NPC.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you literally
talk about that. Obviously, that's something a little different than competitive Fortnite. Talk about for those that are new to Fortnite, hiring NPCs or bringing NPCs on board.
It's just something that you can add an extra. As Peach Cobbler goes up and over with the bunker, but we're gonna go ahead and stack him like a Jenga board as Peach is doing what she can to fire above and over, but adjacency is adjacent to the ground and takes her out.
I told you that was the last one earlier. Adjacency, that was good. I mean, actually, that one was probably like a 5 out of 10, but still a good effort, nonetheless. Adjacency, I kind of like to add just sensé.
French.
It sounds a little French, or maybe like sophisticated in some way. I'm gonna call him Sansi. You call him adjacency. We'll go from there. But he gets the elimination. Nice pickup for him. That's gonna be a first elimination on the board for adjacency. Meanwhile, I already went against what I said. Meanwhile, let's jump on board with typical.
Typical does look like one-on-one against Headshot Chick, trading shots. Headshot Chick with a turnaround and immediately just crushes Typical, taking him down, trying to get that top position on the leaderboard. There's a med kit, there's splashes, plenty of heals to go around. As Headshot Chick is trying to stabilize, but in comes that third party like a missile.
Headshot Chick in her best CD in the third impersonation says, what? Don't you think? As I say that, though, this time Buck says, don't you think? Gets taken out, takes out Headshot Chick. Buck with the elimination comes flying from the zone. And, just like we said, the young Buck, show him what he's got.
He was surprised me. He's shooting through the window. And a little bit of cat and mouse to take him down. That's 3 eliminations so far. Buck trying to move up on the leaderboard as quick as possible into the top 40. 39th is where the next couple placement points are going to set in. Reflections goes down to Duncan Dingus, which goes down to adjacency. Just an all-out war here going down right before our very eyes.
That's right. NYC versus Buck, and Buck has no idea where NYC is, right above him. And might be able to get a headshot here on Buck, who's already damaged. And just getting their overshield charged back up. And overshield back to broken. Oh my gosh, the damage from NYC is solid. Now, will NYC push this? Because by the time he does, Buck will be healed up. Yeah, it's a wise decision not to push. He's too far away. Buck will be healed up, and he'll be getting his overshield back.
Yeah, knowing the situation is important, especially where NYC was at. He still has to rotate toward the zone, so he doesn't want to just mindlessly try to chase. But found somebody else's loot cache. He's going to go ahead and get the 2 legendary slurp juices. He can get an upgrade to his Havoc, to the Epic Edition. So it's going to be a huge find for NYC, and that loot was just sitting there. That was something that somebody else left over. And he knows that somebody else is still going to be positioned around him. He thought it was behind, but that's going to be the tricky thing is when you can go forward. And this zone is kind of towards the south, but it's kind of a center, so he can keep trying centering up.
That's right. 37 players left. Wicked gets picked up on Siege. 83. I think he was born in 1983.
I think
close to basically, close to being a Gen Xer. Competing against these Zoomers. Impressive, if that's true. Siege gets taken out to the hands, though, of one of the top Zoomers in this competition. It's Wicked J. Wicked's been playing really, really well. Been impressed by their gameplay so far. 2 top 3 finishes and counting with a chance to go back-to-back here.
Yeah, take note of where you saw that zone is at. Now that Rift Island is in the zone for now, the zone eventually begins to move Rift Island out. So you see it's going to be on one edge, so the chances of reading that rotation should be easier than not, as Punisher ends up in a trade war on the other side. That's going to be somebody in a bush, dodging a couple sniper shots. Doesn't know how lucky he just had it, because one of those hits right on the nose. Punisher is going to be sent back to the lobby.
That's right. Punisher needs a big game here if he wants his chance to go to the Super Bowl. He obviously gets a lot of Dallas Cowboys love, playing for Complexity. Partnership or ownership with the Dallas Cowboys. If you're a fan of the NFL and you want an esports team to be a fan of, pretty good pick to pick Complexity. All the work that they do with the Cowboys here on board with Punisher right now. Longtime member of Complexity, longtime pro player in Fortnite. He's been competing at the highest level for quite some time. He's from Quebec, French-Canadian, speaks French fluently. Here comes his rotation, and he is going to ping his spot. X marks the spot, and he gets it.
Yeah, him and Landjock played together for so long. They split up. Punisher went to play with Costa. Wasn't necessarily able to qualify for the FNCS Major 2 final, but he has so much experience that it just cannot go unsaid. You see him trying to go to the slow side of the zone. He knows as well as I do that the zone is going to pull away from that Rift Island, so you don't want to get too close if you're not intending to actually go for the loot on top.
That's right. Sap games with 2 eliminations right now. I've been impressed. By their gameplay of this game, JG9 takes out Trey, who got top 3 just last game. So Trey's eliminated here. That'll hurt his chances in the elimination feed.
Yeah, it's going to kind of leave it all on to that last and final game. 30 points for that victory royale, 1 point per elimination. Going to have to do the math if you're looking to close the gap. Here late into this game, you can kind of see is a couple players over towards Rift Island, a couple over towards the racetrack. Majority of our lobby is going to be on the north portion of this zone, and if I had to be a betting man, I do think it is going to pull over towards that side, but there is a slight chance of it going towards the southwest.
PR, Nostradamus, the algorithm predictor. Trying to see where the zone is going to be pulling exactly. And again, big changes of zones here. No longer 9 zones or 9 storm closures. It's going to be 12. Big change recently in Fortnite, which I think is a welcome change. For, competitively not bad, and obviously for new players, not getting punished as much for getting stuck in zone.
Yeah, and that's why you see a couple of those players still on the outskirts. Pilkey being one of them, over towards Steamy. He's going to try to travel what he thinks is going to be the slow side of the zone, to where he shouldn't, in theory, run into too many players. And then over on this side of the map, there's a lot of foraged items over here to where you can kind of get a flopper, you can get a med mist to try to get your HP back up before you go exactly into the zone. And there's going to be a couple of those Star Wars players that are going to be left by. That's exactly what he's looking for. You can see he has a slap surplus as well in terms of the augment to give himself a slap juice coming out of every chest. He's just trying to get himself some HP.
That's right. Some HP, decides not to take on the entire camp. Rotates instead. Finds a player in front of him.
Punisher. That's a moment right there that neither one of those players know how lucky they just got it. Maddie takes down Libyan Fire, adding another point to her total. Those eliminations are going to run rampant here towards the end game, especially for a lot of our contenders. And I haven't seen this item in use too much when he's using the DC-13, I think it is. So I'm actually really, really interested to see what Pilkey can do with it. Loot Llama. As I say, you want to let the Loot Llama kind of destroy itself, because there's a rift that he could take, but this being 0 builds, I can see why he's choosing not to go for it.
Yeah. Why is that? Not as much build. Obviously, the builds aren't there.
Yeah, you're gonna get beamed out of the sky. Yeah, you're just gonna get beamed.
That's right. Yeah. If you take the rift, you're saying, yeah, that's true. That's why we haven't seen any use of a rift just yet in this competition. Meanwhile, Mizega, who took out one of the heavy hitters. Oh my gosh, the accuracy, marksmanship from Mizega. Long range on Squid. Gets a double, takes out Sky as well. Mizega can't miss right now. Fighting in Storm. Now going to try to clean up his spoils of war here, his loot.
Yep, it's a nice weapons cache. So there is legendary slurp juice there, going to be right behind him. He's making sure that he feels safe enough to grab it. Even gets the mythic loot as well. As you can see, the zone pulling all the way towards the west, away from that Rift Island. Not too many teams already positioned inside of the zone just yet, but you see how quickly those players towards the south, they're immediately trying to get to the zone to find some safety. That way they can get a breath of fresh air. Uh-oh. Maddie firing some shots onto one side. Diggy taking some shots onto the other as well. That's where Maddie's making the decision to try to go up and over, land on to Diggy. There goes a couple more shots being fired in as Maddie's going to finish that one off. And everybody here left in the game has now inched themselves into the top 25.
That's right. Maddie with yet another top 25 finish here. On board with her, Pilkey gets a pickup on Punisher. So that was a little bit of foreshadowing from what we saw earlier. Maddie's going to toss the porta bunker long range and rotate on through. Nice decision making. Nice rotations from Maddie. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from her.
And immediately looks to the other side, just keeping her back mainly towards that edge of zone. But knew a couple players were nearby to where she was just previously at. That's Zemi and Pilkey off into the distance firing shots. And I think that's Pilkey just firing down the trees. Any bit of cover that Zemi could possibly have is going right out the window. Ooh, Quinn's even back there.
Yeah, that's right. Rich Homie Quinn nearby. That will be interesting. That's our potential first place overall leaderboards winner right now. Big fight right now. Zemi gonna get tagged up a little bit. Works on high ground. Zemi versus Pilkey, the 180. Zemi is a monster. Takes out Pilkey with the brilliant plays. Can he get the double kill though? Needs to find a way. Some way, somehow. He's getting pushed by Schmuck right now.
This is a huge fight because he needs the heals that Schmuck might possess, but Schmuck is just going to take as much of that loot as possible and then disengage away from Zemi. He knows he can't stay in the zone for only so long as he tries to beeline his way there. Still has some distance to cover, and the first person he spots out is going to be Maddie. A couple of shots will be fired. That's just a pepper. Now it's time to cook. Woo!
And there it is! Zemi putting on a show right now and had no business staying alive, as you thought Schmuck was going to clean it up, but instead turns it around. Schmuck gets taken out by Maddie. Zemi takes out Maddie right after. Rock, paper, scissors. And guess what? Zemi is the rock.
See that? A little bit of salt, a little bit of the pepper onto the distance from Maddie. Put her in the oven, bake at 350 degrees, and you got yourself a nice elimination to feed your total. Towards the end is Quinn. He's just scraping together anything that he can find. Even this house, it's going to be a huge position to hide in. But you've noticed that Hilke had that breacher shotgun, that CQC. Zemi spotted that one out. He closed the gap, and he barrel stuffed him.
Yeah, well played from Zemi. So impressed. You actually foreshadowed this. You called out Zemi as a zero build grinder to step up in this game, and certainly he has. But he has his tallest task ahead of him. He's got the late game here, and he's got Rich Homie Quinn perfectly positioned with a chance to win yet another game here.
Everybody utilizing the cars that are left into the zone. Even though K-Burbs does have that ODM gear, he's just trying to get himself as close as possible. Hopefully nobody does contest him on over that side, and that's why you see him continuously going towards the outskirts of the zone. Sees a weapon cache. He's going to scrounge together, get the big pot. He sacrifices some HP loss here to try to get the shields on up. I like this play as long as he can make use of the time.
Yeah, we'll see how he does and how he fares. Shallow making his rotation as well. Looks like we got Fluger nearby. Shallow trying to get some shots in. Hey, look, let's take a look at the leaderboards. We have leaderboards ready. I don't know if we can show a small side-by-side. It's going to be the full screen. Okay, Wicked's in first, Quinn's in second. Let's go back to gameplay, though, because it's turning up big time. We just had leaderboards quickly calculated. We just wanted to give you guys a quick peek of that. It's Wicked and it's Quinn, just like we thought.
I think they're both left in this game. K-Burbs and Zemi. You have Quinn. A lot of our players at the top that have that fighting chance are still alive left in this game. David's taking some HP, but that's not going to be a worry for him. He does have the floppers, but he has to use it quick. It is going to be a 5-tick. Thork trying to come back from before. A bad first couple of games, but he's definitely picked up the pace when you need to most.
That's right. Thork didn't have the best start. Wow. Such an insane last game here. We're in a top 10. Thork needs a monstrous performance. The one elimination he has might not be enough, but if he wins back-to-back games here, he has a chance to win this. But that's, of course, if Quinn does not perform.
Everybody needs to go ahead and figure out where Quinn is at and take him out if they have any fighting chance. Another two players fighting towards the outskirts. That's Clips who gets clipped, taken out, sent back to the lobby. Wicked, another stellar performance for him as well. As Hyper staying alive, trying to ODM to the top. He go ahead and grabs a ride from the Uber. Thork is going to go ahead and just scare him out altogether. Shots will be fired, and this is where he actually could stay in the car, but he gets spotted out by Mazinga, who used that overclock pulse rifle, and I like the quick thinking from that shield bubble, because if that car blew up, everything would be on fire.
Yeah, drops the shield bubble, buying him some time momentarily. Meanwhile, Quinn gets taken out. That's big. Quinn out in 8th place. That's the top 2 player eliminated. Mazega with 6 eliminations going huge. Make it 7. Lucky 7. Can he get 8?
He gets tagged up. Fell to fall damage. It's Hyper that's going to go down. Thork is still in the bush. Mazinga knows he's there, but he's going to have first crack at that rotation. Spots Shallow on the other side. Shield bubble's coming out. He does have that health lead, and he sneak attacks, taking down Shallow, getting them into the top 4.
Mazega with 8 going for double digits. Can he get a win, though? That's the question. Placement points are key. Mouse hiding like a mouse right now within one of these porta bunkers, just staying sneaky.
NYC is in the game as well. He does have that shield bubble on the side of Mouse. So even if he does get spotted out, he definitely forced him into him. His Thork is like a Christmas tree ornament at the top, shining bright like a star, trying to stay alive, pushing C down of what he had in terms of high ground. But that's not necessarily the worst position to be in. Everybody is going to have to think outside of the box because nobody, in theory, had pulled zone. And you only get to the front side, but you can only hold it for so long.
That's right. It's a 4-player affair. Mazega right now in probably one of the worst positions. Only has a shield bubble of their names that's going to disappear in just a moment. NYC forced to rotate, but the zone is near Mouse, who rotated early. Thork says, let me take matter into my own hands. The third party comes through. Mouse survives for now. Mouse is somehow able to stay alive, but gets beamed. Oh my god, that was sexy. The elimination from Thork.
The slice and dice. Thork taking matters into his own hand with the kinetic blade. He spots Mazinga go in front, though, with no HP, with no no shield, with nothing left to his name. He has to go ahead and try to make something happen, but he gets sniped out by Mazinga, who's trying to win this game overall, and he's going up against NYC in the sky. He goes up, he goes over, the shield bubble is clouding him and giving him some more time to stay alive.
That's going to be a 10th elimination for Mazinga. He does it. Mazinga with the double digits first place victory royale in game number 4, giving him a chance to punch a ticket to the Super Bowl.
I only know, where was Mazinga on the leaderboard? That was a 40-point game to push himself up as far as possible before we go into our final game of the day and crown somebody winners of the inaugural Dallas Cowboys Game Time featuring Fortnite.
Insanity, what we just saw. Look, let's take a look at the leaderboards again if we possibly can. This is, of course, going into this last game. So these are not the updated leaderboards, y'all. And apologies for the delays, everybody. The API is not working, so we have to manually calculate these leaderboards, which is very difficult with such a large lobby. Wicked was in first, Quinn in second. Mazega not in this top 8. K-Burbs was, but not many of these players made it to late game. So with a 40-point game from Mazega, you got to think that'll put them in the top 5, certainly, maybe even the top 3 PR.
It's really going to go down to this final game. No matter what the leaderboard says after this one, we're going to have possibly 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 teams in the running just to have the casual performance that they're having. And then you could probably add on 5 more teams at the tail end that could possibly win if they pick up eliminations with a victory royale. This is looking like it could be last season's FNCS.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy finish here. We have one more game. That's it to figure out who will be the winner of the inaugural Dallas Cowboys Game Time competition. What a start it's been. Let's look at the highlights, though, from that last game. It was a fun one, that's for sure. And guess what? I have one word for you. One player. It was Mazega.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up so many eliminations. You even saw Buck get his second one here on a Massalia. That was a huge one, like shooting fish in the barrel, like I said it in the moment. Even found another one along the way. Adjacency, perfect usage of the bunker to keep himself alive here in this situation. Over towards the Slap Shores, the Slap Factory, that was allowing him to get a couple heals as well before he had to rotate.
That's right. Headshot chick took out one, immediately gotten pushed by Buck here, though, Pierre.
Yeah, this is just one of those moments that where you might think you're safe. You start a fight, you win it rather quickly because Headshot Chick did just win a battle against somebody else. But somebody in the distance, they hear it, they third party it, they take advantage of 1 or 2, even multiple weak opponents. And that's what you're seeing here, especially in towards the end game. Mazega did that here again. That's why he picked up these 2 eliminations. Gets one on the Sky. He got that earlier one on the Squid and immediately pushed deep into the zone to pick up that loot that he found. And that could have been the loot that made the difference to him staying alive throughout every portion of this game.
Yeah, that's right. Zemi had some great moments here. Took out Maddie. 3 eliminations, made it 4, but then just got taken out in that rotate, Pierre.
Yeah, he at least collected a good number of those placement points. You got to add in the difference of the eliminations as well. You saw him before that game 4 leaderboard total did click in. We were looking at games 1 through 3 leaderboard. Zemi was in the running. You see Quinn going down into the top 8 to Mazega. So again, this just leaves us to one game to decide who is going to the Super Bowl.
That's right. I can't believe it's going to come out of this last and final game. This is where Mazega just continued his running rampage, took out another one, made it 8, and then we called it. Will he get double digits? The answer was yes. It was a little bit of good action here. Slice and dice with the kinetic blade for Thoric. That sweet, sweet animation. Things you love to see. But in the end, Thoric making his rotation through. Mazega took him out pretty easily. Got that one. That was 9. And then had control over NYC, had the health advantage, and capitalized. Mazega with the win. Mazega with a 40-point game in number 4.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to be one of those moments where Mazega wins this entire thing. He's not going to be looking at every single game. He's going to be looking at game number 4 because that's when he thought he was down. That's when he thought he was out. He picked up 10 eliminations and took the game over by force. And the way he stayed ahead of those remaining players towards the end game, knowing that as long as I stay towards the front side of the zone, I'm not only the most healthiest, I am the strongest in terms of loadout.
Yeah, that's right. Impressive stuff from Mazega. And look, the interesting thing with Mazega is his highs have been high, his lows not so, or pretty low as well. So I'm interested to see, can he stay consistent? Consistency is key in obviously any battle royale, any competitive game, anything in life, but especially in competitive Fortnite. You got to get at least 2 or 3 top 3 finishes. Otherwise, it's going to be Wicked or it's going to be Quinn who have done exactly that.
Yeah, and depending on where Wicked went down, we saw Quinn get into the top 8. The top 8, I do believe, is like 15 points in terms of placement. Depending on where Wicked is actually positioned at, if he went down rather early, maybe outside of the top 12, outside of the top 15, this is the game that he has to make up, whether if it's eliminations or not. You see the points break down to where 15 points. That's that halfway mark, and it barely sets in that 8th place. And you can see the jump from 5th place to 4th, where you get 20, and then it's 2 points per for 3rd, and then another 3 points for 2nd, and then 5-point differential between 1st and 2nd place.
Yeah, that 5-point differential is big. Victory royales are key. That's why Quinn's gotten one, Wicked's gotten one. That's why they are in top 2 in the overall leaderboards. Speaking of leaderboards, we're working hard at calculating them to get them ready for you going into game number 6. But before we do that, let's get ready to jump to a very quick break. Our last and final Lenovo break. Big shot to Lenovo. Thank you, as always, for the support. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game number 5, our last and final game in this competition after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dallas Cowboys Game Time Competition Fallout here alongside PR. We have one final game, PR. It all comes down to this.
Yeah, depending on where some of these contenders placed with those elimination combination in that game number 4, we're in for a treat. This is going to come down to who can outlast their opponents while simultaneously trying to close the gap with elimination points. I feel like this is deja vu. This is exactly what I just went through with FNCS. It came down to the final game, the final couple players making it towards the very end.
That's right. Dallas Cowboys Game Time Tournament, Fortnite Championship Series. You know, no difference here. That's how great this event's been so far. It's been fun to watch. Yeah, exactly. A trip to the Super Bowl, by the way, is your prize. For those that are just tuning in, welcome. Thanks, everyone, for watching. This is the Dallas Cowboys Game Time Tournament, their first ever esports tournament, which you'll love to see. Well, the winner gets a prize that is unmatched in esports, a trip to the Super Bowl, PR.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. And then all expenses paid trip. And it's for 2. But yeah, you guys know that you guys are going to go ahead and invite me. I'm one of your guys' best friends out there. If you guys are watching this, we can go ahead and talk after this.
Psych.
Don't worry.
That's a big old psych. Because your boy's punching his ticket. Especially if Reflections wins, he's going to pick me over you. No, I'm just kidding. I think Reflections is pretty far from winning this competition. Shout out to Taylor, Reflections Noble, and all the casters, Sancho West, and others playing in this tournament. We're going to kick things off with Mezega. Mezega's been playing really, really well throughout the entirety in terms of aggression and mechanics, but an inability to make it to late game. Well, that was until game number 4, where Mezega got a 10 elimination first place win.
Yeah, that alone was at least 40 points added to Mezega's total. So it's going to be interesting to see when the score does break down at the end. Another game like that, you can see Mezega in the Super Bowl stands cheering on their favorite team.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and it might not be their favorite team, PR. There's still a chance. But 2 out of 32 chance to be their favorite team. We'll see it. After this competition, Mezega is going to be cheering for the Cowboys. And that's what's actually really interesting.
I was about to say that. If I won, my favorite team's automatically the Cowboys.
Is the Cowboys. The Cowboys are sending me to the Super Bowl. I have allegiance or alliance there. Yeah, and it's interesting, though. I think a lot of Gen Z kind of Zoomer kids, as they call them, especially the ones that play Fortnite or into esports, from conversations I've had, they're not like big NFL sports fans. They're esports fans. So I think, you know, if you're looking for a team to cheer for in the Super Bowl, the Cowboys are a good one, obviously, with supporting this event. It's really fascinating, though, how, you know, a lot of younger generation don't watch traditional sports. And that's probably why you see, you know, organizations like the Cowboys. It's really awesome to see them getting involved in esports to try and ensure that the great game of football is passed along to the next generation.
And if you notice, Mega City looking a little empty this time around. Nobody wants to put that final game on the line in an over contested drop spot, so you're seeing some players switch things up. Shallow sees the kinetic blade in that hollow chest, but no keys, can't grab it just yet. He knows that somebody else did land here initially, and that's what Shallow's on the lookout for.
That's right. We've seen Shallow consistently in some late games, playing pretty darn well. We'll see if Shallow can have that big, monstrous win in this one that they need to have. Going to get tagged out from afar. Krubs gets an elimination in the top of your elimination feed already. Look how aggressive this is. We told you Game 5 would be aggressive, and it's certainly showing. Already down 9 players.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those situations to where Shallow is just going to have to get out, but luckily him towards the racetrack, there's going to be a ton of heals for Shallow to work with. All Shallow needs is time. Overall, there's a ton of coolers. There's actually a fire pit over towards the other side. So interesting to see if you're going to scrounge together for every single thing. A lot of players usually in builds rotate on over to this spot because it's a ton of metal to possess thanks to those trailers. But it's not going to be a thing here, which is why I don't think very many people are rotating in that direction. Wobbly Zebra, on the other hand, over on this side of the map, this is where a lot of people use a lot of the static mobility, whether they're the launch pads over towards Brutal Bastion or these wind tunnels to try to rotate from one point to another. But sooner or later, Wobbly's going to have to start scrounging together any bit of loot, but has to watch by. That's Trey on the other side who spots him towards the tail end. That's going to be a quick snipe, but it's going to be a miss overall. But Trey knows there's at least somebody here in this distance. David even coming a little bit closer with that ODM gear. Try to put on some shots onto Trey. And I like Trey's decision. He quickly tries to disengage, put himself into a relatively safer location. Something he's a little bit more comfortable playing in than in the previous one.
That's right. David Dow has a couple shield pots to their name. Going to get back up to 150, more like 200 with Overshield. Overshield's going to be clocking back up. Look at the top left of your screen. You'll see that Overshield. And here comes the push, though. David, in a 1-versus-1 versus Trey. This is massive. David not getting the shotgun shots he wanted. Trey in control, using the head glitch very, very well, using cover to their advantage. Trey, and David's just trying to dip set. Trey says no. In the battle of names as gamer tags, Trey beats David.
But you thought we were finished. No, we are not. That's Wicked into the distance. Putting some shots onto Trey. But you said it before that there's so much distance to cover. He doesn't want to go for it, but somebody else likes the opportunity to go ahead and try to take down Trey. They close the gap as well. Shots coming in. Trey's going to be able to escape or at least keep himself alive longer here in this scenario. And since he got into the bush, that was Sky on the other side looking to chase down Trey. But since he was able to safely disengage, find himself a little bit of bush to work with, this is time that Trey is going to be able to stay alive here, assess the situation before he go and rotates on over to the next spot, which he's going to find at least a chest. He's looking for heals, but at least he's getting some ammo to work with, just in case. Even some grenades, just in case anybody wants to bunker up as well. Wicked ends up against Wobbly. Wobbly looking for that loot, but ends up finding Wicked. Wicked is one of the players, if you guys are just tuning in, that has a chance to go to the Super Bowl here. He's already at the top of the leaderboard. He just needs to finish off strong in this game.
That's right. There it is. Oh, look at this beautiful side graphic. We called for it last game. They delivered this game. First place is Wicked with 74 points. And I'm wondering, is this accurate? Because it's still Blur Antics, Mouse, Wicked, Quinn. Or is this from the game before? If I'm remembering correctly, I think this is accurate.
I think this is accurate, yep.
Yeah. So I was surprised. I thought we would see a sneak into the top 3 for Mizega, but Mizega must be in 5th through 7th. So it is Wicked and Quinn still in the top 2.
Yep, that was K-Burbs there, also with 62 points. Thoric with 55 points, Hazzy with 54, and Zemi with 53. So, honestly, Hazzy, Zemi, with even Thoric can get in that mix, sub 60 points, 55, 54, and 53. They're going to need some eliminations, which you see Hazzy already picking up one on the Bonsai, or they're going to need Wicked, Quinn, and Blur Antics, even Mouse, to go down relatively early on in this game. But still goes to show that anybody still has a chance. As Sancho into a ride, taking Jelly for a little bit of a roller coaster, landing a couple of shots. And I like Sancho's decision here. Instead of just going and putting it all onto the line into what could be the last fight of the game, he's just continuing on. He wants nothing of that noise other than a top placement.
That's right. Yeah, I like it. Look, Sancho probably knows I might not be in contention to win this, but sticking to his guns and recognizes exactly what we said earlier. The one fundamental aspect of Fortnite has never changed and likely never will. Make it to late game, you're going to get eliminations, you're going to get points. Sancho plays very textbook, plays very by the book, plays very smart. No surprise, because obviously he analyzes and casts the game at its highest level. I've been impressed by some of the decisions that Sancho has made so far.
I definitely have, but at the same time, I'm not surprised at the same time. He grinds 0 builds, plays with some of the best. You can see him just parking it, found a bush that's nearby. Doesn't like that one. He wants to go deeper into the zone towards Frenzy Fields. There's definitely a ton of cover that you could have had on that side of the map. And he even probably senses that the zone is going to continue to pull towards the south, maybe a little bit of an eastern lean. And that's why he wants to center himself as much as possible here into the zone. So that way he has a little bit more flexibility in terms of his decision making of where he wants to go. That's why you see him parking his car rather close by to the bush. Instead of going through to destroy it, he wants to give himself two different ways to kind of escape. The habit. James over towards the other side. A lot of contestation over here as Peach Cooperative does go down. Jelly, who we saw moments ago, take a ton of damage. He's at it again. Internet God's going to go down. That one's going to get taken away by Jelly. And back-to-back shot by James, though. He's going to clean that one up. Almost gets 2 for his efforts before he goes down. Third party coming in as well. He quickly disengages with the kinetic blade. That is a huge play for him to stay alive.
That's big. Habit. I don't think got both of those elims. Got just one of them, but nonetheless got all the loot. Gets the kinetic blade, survives, lives to fight another day, but now has a max rotation to make, and there's a player right to his west, or just north of him now. It's Marks in Recreation. Pilkey, who's been a constant performer, taking out a pro player, Knack.
Knack's back into the game. Definitely one of those players that qualified throughout the qualifying process. As you guys don't know, there was 5 different qualifiers, top players from each advancing here to the finals, to where it's winner take all. And now we seem to have probably a 4, 5, even 6 horse race here coming into our final game as we're getting into that top 30. James knows that somebody's there. Here's the car into the distance. Asila there, just trying to go ahead and get into the zone as close as possible. Going past every single person that she sees to try to get there. Immediately getting a spot over towards the left side of Shattered Slab, so where you can kind of see the map already. Not too many teams are located on over to that side, but somebody trying to close the distance. Even throwing a tree down on top of the cars. Hyper is hiding in. Dom needs to be careful because this is a great angle here for Hyper. Next zone is going to be so telling. Who would know it is Mazinga going for it, but Mazinga is out, sent back to the lobby. The hope of going to the Super Bowl has come to an end, but Hazy is still lighting up the feed. You see Slay there with the card as well. Pilkey is there playing with the shield bubble. Pilkey takes him out just at the perfect time. And that's the thing, though. If you don't hurry up and use the card for the vault, it shows your position on the minimap. So Pilkey knew exactly where those players were at because of that. Yep, you see Rift Island spawning in, and since it's out towards the zone, we're going to pull towards the south yet again. So these teams better have that one prepared and ready of how they're going to get there. There's Trey. Firing some shots off into every single one of these bushes. He's just making sure that when he go ahead and rotates from one bush to the next, it's as relatively safe as can be.
That's right. Trey right now is in bush in a good spot. Had a really, really good game in game number 3. Made it to the top 3. Not necessarily the same fate in game 4. So Trey needs a monstrous game here. Right now, I'd say players in contention. Hazy, who just got 2 in the Olymp feed. Hazy won game number 3. Okay, so we didn't see Hazy in the top 4, but a win in this game will certainly be a first place finish given the amount of eliminations he's getting. Really, really impressed what we're seeing right now from Hazy. And then, of course, there's Quinn. There's Wicked. Those are your top contenders to potentially win this tournament. Blur Antics was in the top 5 or top 7 as well. We're going to get that leaderboard updated and sent your way as soon as we possibly can. I know our team is working really hard at updating that leaderboard manually so you know exactly where things are standing.
Yep. As it stands, though, Blur Antics going into this game, 66 points. Less than 10 points shy of Wicked, who was on 74, and Quinn, who was on 71. He just needs to be able to hold off and finish strong, but there's so many teams nearby. They're all having that same plan. They hope this is the least traveled side of the zone so they make a quick rotation here. This guy knows somebody's here into the distance. They heard him, but that was Blur Antics on the other side, who's already repositioned high up on that mountain.
That's right. Hazy picks up another one. Oh, my God. We call him a brick house in game number 3. He's continuing to build and build on top of that house into a mansion here in game 5. What a showing from Hazy.
5
Can't be stopped. 5 already. It's insane. A win here will be a win. And punching his ticket to the Super Bowl. Right now, he's not even... he is in 7th place right now with 54 points. That is 17 points behind Wicked in 1st. So he has to hope that Wicked and Quinn don't make it to the top 3.
Yep, he started this one in terms of Hazy with 54 points. So besides placement, he's at 59 points. So he still has a little bit of ground to cover here in this next game and kind of outlast your opponents. As long as Wicked go down, even Blur Antics, a lot of these players outside of the top 8, he has a fighting chance because that alone is 15 placement points, enough for him to close that gap.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated. And again, our team's hard at work to get the standings ready, and we're getting some real-time updates from production. So we're going to keep you up to speed here because this is pivotal. First place, nothing less. First place gets 2 tickets, all expenses paid trip to the Super Bowl. Second gets nothing. So it's all or nothing here with Wicked currently in 1st with 74 points. Zen Quinn in 2nd with 71. Blur Antics 3rd with 66. Mouse 4th with 62, tied with K-Burbs right after. Here's the standings right now. Zemi in 8th overall. So here's what it's looking at. Thoric could have a big game and win this. But again, they got to all hope that Wicked through Mouse do not perform.
Yeah, they need them to go down early on. Or, hey, you could drop 20, 30 E-lives, even though there's not that many players left on the map. But you go ahead and pick your fate. which one's going to be easier, as Diggy found himself one of those prefabs at the center of the island. This is where you would typically see, if you were watching FNCS, you come over from that side of things. This is where Booga and Threats were landing in that last FNCS competition. Ton of loot, guaranteed kinetic blade. So if he didn't have one, he definitely has one now.
That's right. Sky currently alive. Switch on over to Quinn. We got to keep the action on and just checking in with all of our top players left in this competition in the leaderboards, because those are the ones that matter. So right now it looks like we have Marks and Recreation gotten taken out by Blur Antics, who's in 3rd place. Quinn in 2nd place, not in zone, going to be gatekeeping. Mouse, who's also in the top 5. This is some top 5 on top 5 leaderboard action. One will not make it on this rotation, surely.
Mouse is in the zone, taking some damage. Luckily, he does have the slap juices. He does have some splashes as well. Good with the mobility, but he has to be careful. Oh, he has the aerialist augment as well. That's what allow him to save some of the charges. Quinn's on the other side. Quinn knows he's there. Is he going to check in the building? He didn't even see Quinn. Quinn sees him. This is where it's all going to go down. Quinn takes him out. Mouse's chance has gone out the window, and Quinn has just bolstered himself on the leaderboard.
That's it. Mouse is out, and Quinn is the reason. What a decision from Quinn to stay in zone, eat the zone damage. I don't think he had the intel that was Mouse. Yeah, anonymous mode surely is on. So nonetheless, Quinn with a very, very wise decision. I don't think he realizes the implications of what he just did.
He has to be careful, though. It is a 2-tick. He did pop that med kit in time.
He did it right on time. Right on time.
So he's kind of hoping that he could stay in the zone long enough, right? Use both of those med kits, potentially the splashes as well if it comes down to it. And then he's going to get all that combat cash loot to get himself towards the end game, as Trey even gets chunked out there on the leaderboard. He's going to be able to survive, but you got Sancho West on one side, Quinn deep in the zone, Blur Antics and Victor V at the top of the screen as well. And Blur Antics trying to close the gap. He has at least 2 eliminations, but he goes back to the lobby. Victor V takes him out.
The young teenager Victor shutting down Blur's opportunity to win this competition. Blur in 3rd or 4th place, eliminated and out of the competition. No longer a chance to win this since Quinn is still alive. But guess what? Thoric is in the zone heading towards Quinn. 2 of our top 8 players might also meet in the zone yet again.
Even Wicked is so deep into the zone that this could be bad if anybody looks by. You got Sky, you got Victor V, even Sancho West, potential gatekeepers here into the final game, as Quinn is still waiting for that weapons cache. I think it's worth it. This doesn't come down to the heal off.
Behind him.
Oh no! Pilkey takes down Quinn! It's actually Thoric! It's now Wicked's for the taking!
Oh my goodness. We foreshadowed that PR. We said Thoric is in zone. He's coming. He ended up pushing exactly where Quinn was. And now Trey is just trying to gatekeep and might end Thoric's chances. This might be a victory lap here for Wicked, who's in 1st place right now.
Yeah, and you see Thoric just toying with the idea. Do I waste the splashes in zone? I need the shield bubble, because you remember what I said in the beginning. You need a shield bubble. You need a bunker if you expect it to make it very, very far in the game. Wicked has already used one. You see him positioned inside. He has another one in his back pocket, and he pulls zone. This could be the moment right here for Wicked and his advancement to the Super Bowl.
Insane. And Pierre, do you know much about Wicked? Was he one of our qualifier players?
He was definitely one of our qualifiers in the first qualifier as well.
Insane. From open qualifiers to the Super Bowl. What a story for Wicked. Has to close this out, though, because guess what? You still got Thoric and a few others that are just in contention alive. Thoric, Victor V in the top 10 or 12, I believe. Pilkey's been playing well. Sancho had a good first game, at least. Might be in somewhat of a contention. But look, Wicked had such a significant lead over the rest of the competition. First place was 74 points. Blur Antex is out. Mouse is out, who had 62. Is K-Burbs alive? If K-Burbs is not out, Hazi's at 54. And Hazi's having a good game. So look, if Hazi can somehow take out Wicked, he has a chance.
Yep, it's the top 8. That's when the top 8, and it really gets close. If Wicked goes out of the top 8, Ozzy ends up with a top position. He could win it overall. K-Burb's the same. Hazi's the same. But it all comes down to when you do fall outside of this game and how many points you're able to pick up in terms of those eliminations. As K-Burb, he found himself a cliffhanger that he's trying to hold on to. Survey as much of the land as possible. Figure out where players are in position. But notice he didn't use the kinetic blade right away. He doesn't want people to know he's here.
Right, gonna try and get some damage here to start. Here's the situation right now. If you're Wicked, win, and of course you're in. Top 3, top 4, you're probably still in. So that's what the implication is for Wicked. Needs to survive. Shiloh gets taken out. Schmuck gets taken out by NYC. 11 players remaining. fifth and final game of this competition. K-Burbs currently in fifth place with 62 points, trailing by 12 points. So needs a win. K-Burbs needs a win. Thoric and Hazy both need wins.
Yep, and this is where it's getting closer and closer into that top 8. 15 points still up for grabs. K-Burbs with a flank. A couple of missed shots you don't see every day, but the third parties come in. K-Burbs is under pressure. But luckily for him, with the shield bubble going down, he has the splashes, but he hears the kinetic blades trying to close the distance. There's a lot of effort going into this elimination onto K-Burbs. You cannot let it slip outside of your hands as Pilky's the one going for it. Slash and dash with the kinetic blade, and he takes down K-Burb.
Pilky with the kinetic damage into the shotgun finish. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Pilky, hunting down 10 eliminations. Pilky knows that he needs a big game to win this. Pilky knows he needs the elims, and he's getting them. Already matching Mazega's total from all of last game, 10, and counting. It's Thoric. No! Too aggressive. Thoric shuts him down.
He started the game in 6th place with 55 points. Now into the top place. 15 points have been dished out to everybody. Wicked is still alive. Thoric needs him to go down. Hazy need Wicked to go down, and he's just barely scraping by towards the tail end. He's waiting for everybody else to rotate on by. This could be a make or break moment for Wicked if he doesn't make this rotation to perfection.
That's right. It all comes down to this last rotation for Wicked. Going to eat some of the storm damage courtesy of the med miss that he has in his name. He's okay with it, but this is a tough rotate. Max rotation. He decided to take a really slow rotation, letting everyone fight each other, but Diggy's nearby. Does he know it? No. May have just spotted him there. I don't know. Gets blessed. Are you kidding me? With some extra heals. The legendary Slurp Juice finds Diggy Take, gets himself some time, a moment to reset. And Wicked is looking like he might shut this down. He might win this competition.
Yeah, this might be it. That's a huge find in terms of the tree.
Huge.
He has another Slurp Juice to go ahead and get the HP back on up. Zone's going to pull on their side of the map as well, but they're taking so much damage. It is a 5-stick. He chooses to fall in NYC, and it's a big battle. Wicked comes out on top, but he falls. Wicked goes down to Hazy as well into the top 5. Hazy needs eliminations. He needs to be able to win this game, and he will go to the Super Bowl.
Hazy was down by 20 points. Wicked got eliminated in what, 5th place? I think 5th is like 16 points. That's got to be enough. Or is it? If Hazy gets 2 or 3 of these eliminations in a win, will he steal the spot? What a finish this is going to be, PR. We got 4 players remaining.
Yep, it's going to be a photo finish at that. He spots one, hits him in the toes, takes down Trey. 8 eliminations to his total. More points. This is where that top 3, the points really do separate themselves. You get more. Remember, it's 5 points for winning over second. 2 more points after that. This is 7-point differential, plus 2 more. This is a possible 9 to 10 points for Hazy, up for grabs, still on the map.
That's right. Hazy and Thoric both in the top 8, top 7 actually. Thoric was in 6th with 55 points. He could potentially steal it, but Hazy has the kills here. They're both going to fight each other. Hazy takes out Thoric. Hazy takes out Thoric. Can he get the win? Finds one. Hazy does it. Another elimination, a 1st place finish. That's 10 plus 30, 40-point game for Hazy. Is it enough?
That is going to be the question that we're asking ourselves, because in this one, he started with 54 points. He was down by 20 to F7 Wicked. We saw Quinn drop. We saw Blur Antics drop. We saw Mouse get taken out along with K-Burbs as well. That was everybody in front of him, with Wicked going down late into that game before a good chunk of points did place out. And with Hazy not only winning the game, but getting the eliminations, this has come down to that photo finish we were talking about.
That's right. 5th place gets 19 points. So that's pretty big right there for Wicked. Wow. I think Hazy, if I'm doing some quick math here, it depends how many eliminations that Wicked got. If Wicked got at least 2 eliminations, he wins, I believe. Oof. Because he had a 20-point lead. He got 19 points for 5th. And he had a 20-point lead, like I said. Hazy got 40. It's going to be a crazy fit. I don't want to speculate. Did
Wicked get elims? Does anybody
Wicked
remember
get elims?
Wicked?
I can't remember.
I know late in the game, Wicked was playing relatively safe, staying towards the outside. He was actually getting unlucky in the sense of he was also getting some max pulls. So even if he wanted to go for eliminations, it would be very, very risky and unsafe to do so. So literally 1 or 2 eliminations is either going to win or lose Wicked this entire game. And if they're tied, guess what? We're going to different tiebreaker scenarios to figure out who's going to be the winner.
Yeah, that's right. And again, that's my quick math here. Don't quote me on the math by any means, because
Quoted.
gosh, I'm a shoutcaster, not a mathematician. Hey, all right, Pierre. All we can do is wait. All we can do is speculate, and I'm excited to see what type of finish it is. If Hazi did it, stole first place from under the nose of Wicked with a monstrous game 5, that will just be a story for the ages. But look, let's take a look at the highlights, though. We're calculating the scores as fast as we can. Let's look at the highlights, though, from game number 5, Pierre.
Yeah, this is just these make or break moments. You saw Trey trying to outlast. This was great play by Trey to use the height advantage to go ahead and take down David overall. And David tried to go for a little bait and switch. He tried to sneak him out, but he ends up going down. This is a great moment for Jelly. He was able to get one elimination here before going down as well, where James took him out. And this was on this side of the map where a lot of players were just taking each other out left, right, and center.
Yeah, that's right. You saw the rampage continue as Pilkey took out Slate, and Pilkey had a really good game. You thought Pilkey might be able to somehow do it with 10 eliminations. It was 6 at this point, and then ultimately lost a 1 versus 1 to Thoric. Mouse got caught in zone and, well, caught with his pants down. It was going to be Quinn instead who gets the elim, and you thought maybe Quinn's playing this so well, so strategic, maybe it'd be him. But then Thor comes in zone and kills him. Meanwhile, Blur Antics gets eliminated from Victor VA. Blur had a chance to win it. Got shut down. It was basically shutdowns upon shutdowns. Here's the Quinn moment we talked about.
Yeah, it was Thoric. Again, when you see that weapon cache, sometimes Thoric might have shared it with them to where 2 teams shared that weapons cache. In solos, it would be individual players. I don't know if you spotted that out or just spotted somebody. If you see somebody in the zone for that long, especially with how far the zone is, there has to be a reason there. And FNCS champion Thoric knows it, thinking outside of the box. Not only was he able to get the elimination, but get all of that loot, even carrying that slurp juice till the very end. You can see right here, Wicked had 1 elimination before he did go down. He picked up that 2nd elimination. He, in theory, could win by 1 point.
Oh my gosh! So you saw he had 1 elimination when he got taken out?
He had two overall, plus the 19.
He had 2
so
overall.
He scored
okay, I missed
21 points in that game.
And he had a 20-point lead. And he was, oh my gosh, I think he wins by 1 elimination. He would have lost the tiebreaker because Hazy had 2 victory royales. So he would have lost the tiebreaker, PR. Again, all we can do is speculate, but that 2nd elimination, that 1 point difference might be enough. Look, I don't want to keep speculating. We're calculating the standings. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, we will have the standings ready for each and you all to announce the winner who will be going to the Super Bowl next year in Las Vegas. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. everybody to Dallas Cowboys Game Time inaugural Fortnite tournament. I'm Fallout alongside PR, and we've been enjoying the heck out of commentating the action. Hope you've been enjoying it at home. It all comes down to a few points, a few marginal differences, and honestly, I don't know whose game it is. I don't know who's going to the Super Bowl, PR.
Yeah, thank gosh, because I was trying to do the maths and then I ran out of fingers, so I couldn't finish the math. All I know is it's literally going to come down to a few points of differential between Hazy and Wicked, who both of them have been playing so strong from start to finish that I said it in the very beginning, as long as that consistency stays up, it will come down to eliminations, and alas, it has.
That's right. And the thing I don't know is, did Wicked get 6th place or 5th? If he got 5th in game 5, he's got the win by 1. If he got 6th, that's 2 points behind. He loses by 1. So I don't know, but guess what? I just got word. We have the leaderboards ready. Let's take a look. The winner of the Dallas Cowboys Game Time competition is Hazy. He's going to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, congratulations, Hazy. You just earned yourself 2 tickets and all expenses paid trip to the Super Bowl, and you did it by 1 point. This is going to be a moment I think Hazy is going to remember for the rest of their days.
Unbelievable. Takes it right under the nose of Wicked, who was in control going into the last game. You thought it was Wicked's game to lose. It certainly was. Wicked with a top 6 finish. We all thought did enough, but the 6th instead of 5th place, 1 or 2 eliminations made the difference. It was that close. Quinn in 3rd, Thoric in 4th. Your heart goes out to them, of course, because both of them had a chance to win that last game or to go big that last game and take it home, PR.
And the final defining moment, honestly, was when Wicked actually went down. Guess who got that elimination? Hazy took matters into their own hands, took out Wicked, took out the remaining players as well, and won the game. Because remember, they needed all of the eliminations. Not some, not one. They needed all the eliminations and literally cleaned up from, I think, top 5 and on. Hazy got every single one of those eliminations to take the game.
Insane. And look, yeah, if he didn't get that 1 elimination, he would have been tied, or maybe 2 eliminations, he would have lost. It all came down to those last few elims. And look, we also got to give congratulations to Blur Antics, K-Burbs, Trey, and Mouse. Top 8 is certainly a feat. Congratulations to you as well. K-Burbs, Blur Antics put on a show. Trey was fun to watch as a content creator, holding it down with some of these pros. And look, a lot of these players, are content creators, or not necessarily the top of the top, cream of the crop FNCS players. Meanwhile, you had Cease, you had Punisher been competing for a while, not on this list. And that's why you love tournaments like this. You love the Dallas Cowboys for putting this on, because it gave anyone a chance to compete and qualify, and Hazy capitalized. Carpe diem. He'll be going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, FNCS champion Thoric is on that leaderboard as well.
That's right.
There goes the grand prize, like we're saying, a trip to the Super Bowl. And Hazy has been playing since qualifier number 1, qualifying in 4th place, 104 points. It was a long journey, but it's definitely one you got to imagine is paid off.
Yeah, that's right. All expenses paid trip to Las Vegas. And I wonder, is he even 21? Can he indulge in an alcoholic beverage? I don't even know if he can, my man. Shout out, of course, to Hazy. I don't know how old you are. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you, because we did just get word. We're going to have him live for an interview here in a moment, PR.
Yep. So we're actually ready right now.
He's ready. He's ready now.
Let's bring in the champ. Let's bring in my new best friend. Let's plan our activities at the Super Bowl.
That's right. Hazy, can you hear us okay, bud?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, congratulations, man. What a finish. What a way to do it. You put out the show.
Thank you.
How you feeling right now? You're going to the Super Bowl. You excited?
Yeah, I'm shaking right now. I cannot believe this is real. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say.
I love it, man. I love it. I could tell the genuine passion in your voice. But real quick, man, give us a quick introduction. Can you tell us about your background as a player and how you got here?
I just been playing no builds. That's been my main thing. I didn't like it at first when it came out, actually, but then I realized I was kind of decent at it, and then just picked up from there. Did good in competitive events, and just been playing since.
0 build grinder. And how old are you?
Yep, I am 18.
18. So you're going to the Super Bowl. Under 21. You'll still enjoy the heck out of it. PR, what you got for him?
Yep.
It definitely is. So, what was your feeling? How did you figure out this tournament existed? I know I saw you sign up. You qualified in qualifier number 1. How does it feel?
So I actually found it. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, which is really cool. And I saw their tweet, and I saw, I'm wow, I got to sign up for this. And yeah.
Dude, that is so cool.
Big.
Yeah, it's huge. You're a Cowboys fan. You saw their tweet, just happened to sign up as a fan, and you beat a bunch of pros. I mean, look, you went up against the likes of Thoric, FNCS champion, and Cease, top 3 at World Cup, and so many great heavy hitters. How does it feel to be beating some of them? Do you feel like you can compete with the best of them in Fortnite?
I guess so. I say I'm up there right now. Yeah, I just did.
So let me ask you, who are you excited to see? Let's say the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl. You're a huge Cowboys fan. Who are some of your favorite players? Who do you want to get an autograph from? Anything like that?
Favorite players? Probably Micah, and Tony Pollard. Those are my 2 favorite right now.
Yeah, something tells me, man, the Cowboys might make that happen. If they're making it to the Super Bowl and you're there,
I
you're
hope
the winner
so.
of the event, something tells me that they're going to hook you up with an intro or something like that. Are you from Texas? What made you a Cowboys fan? How long have you been a Cowboys fan for?
I'm actually in Pennsylvania, like kind of near where the Eagles play, but
Whoa!
my parents were Cowboys fans, so that's where I got that from.
So let me ask you this question. You've earned yourself 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. Obviously, you're taking one of them. Who are you bringing with you? Who's the first person you're calling right now and letting them know you're going to the Super Bowl?
My dad was just right next to me. I let him know if he wants to come, he's coming.
Oh my God, my
He was
heart,
watching
man.
that
The
last
reason you're a
game.
Cowboys fan, your dad and your mom's a Cowboys fan too?
Actually, no, she's a Washington fan.
We leave her
some
at home.
drama in the house on Thanksgiving.
She can stay at home for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're definitely bringing your dad, not your mom, then. Well, that's amazing. What a great story. And now, look, you held up your end of the bargain. You won to bring your dad. Now the Cowboys got to hold up their end of the bargain and make it to the Super Bowl so you can watch them. But we're taking a look at some highlights, man. You played out of your mind here. Obviously, game number 6. The way you finished, we're watching you right now. You had 7 eliminations at this point. You ended up with 10. Did you do the math in your head and just say, I got to ball out, I got to get high elims to do this? Or was it just flowing?
I knew I had to win the game because I had a bad game the game before and got a couple of kills early and then got a little lucky with zones and just killed everybody in the lobby.
Crazy.
You definitely did, especially Wicked. Did you notice when you took Wicked out, forcing him to get 6th place? Because obviously you still had to win the game. You still had to pick up the eliminations. But taking down Wicked, if he stays alive, just a placing longer, you get 2nd place, he's going to the Super Bowl. Did you notice when that happened? If so, how did it feel?
I did actually. I was just hoping in my head like that was not enough for him because I know a bunch of other people that were on top died early. So I knew it was going to be close.
Yeah, insane. And you're the one that took him out. You controlled your own fate, not only by taking him out, but with a 10 elimination game. Like you said, you killed the whole lobby. Well, if you killed 2 less people, you wouldn't be going to the Super Bowl. That's how close it was. Congratulations again, man. I want to give you one last chance for any shout outs, any words you want to share before we let you go.
I got nothing. I'm still lost for words.
Yeah, where can we find you on socials?
Find me at Hazy TV. It's my name with TV at the end. HAASEYY TV on all socials.
Following right now.
Love it. Everyone give him a follow, man. Show some love to Hazy. Congratulations again on the win. Enjoy the Super Bowl with your dad next year in Las Vegas. You earned it, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Congrats again to Hazy. What a performance. What a kickoff to the first ever Dallas Cowboys esports event. They do it, and he does it in style, putting on a show. Again, it was not scripted, can confirm, but it feels like it was. That's how good it was, PR.
It definitely feels like something that you only really see in an action movie. I know I made jokes about Fast 10 coming out. I don't know if Hazy was Vin Diesel because he will never go down. If there's a movie to be made, you better expect Hazy to be starring in it.
Yeah, he was the star of today. Congratulations again to him. He's going to have a chance to maybe even watch the Dallas Cowboys star in the Super Bowl next year. What a show. What a day it was. PR, we're going to wrap up. I'm going to give you a chance for any final words.
Hey, just excited to be here. Thank you so much to the Dallas Cowboys, everybody responsible for putting on to the event, from everybody at the top to the bottom, production, the observers, the admins, everybody who really made this possible, our competitors that showed up and showed out, that made it such an exciting day, and obviously you, Fallout. Thank you for joining me. 10 years strong, you being one of my duos, both playing the games and casting it. I would never have wanted a better moment than anybody other than yourself.
I appreciate that, my friend. Couldn't say it better than myself. And of course, big thank you to our sponsor, Lenovo, making smarter technology for all. We appreciate you, Lenovo. Thank you for sponsoring this event, making it possible. And of course, as you said, the Dallas Cowboys and all of the staff that put this on. Of course, the players that put on a show. On behalf of myself, I'm Fallout. That's Jacob, MVPR, our producer, Isaac, Ford for Gary, the entire GCN team, and everyone behind the scenes. Thank you for watching, everyone. We appreciate you. We hope you have a great night down in Dallas or wherever you are around the world. Thanks for watching. enjoy yourselves some Dallas Cowboys football this upcoming season. Hopefully they'll perform and make it to the Super Bowl where Hazi will have a chance to watch his favorite team. Again, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you next time for the next Dallas Cowboys Game Time featuring Fortnite. Bye.